I'll tell you the truth about NAMM. I just got back from the show, and the truth about it is that I really don't like taking videos and making content while I'm out at NAMM. It's just, I don't know, it's not my thing. But after having experienced the whole show out there this past weekend and all that has surrounded it, I thought I should do at least a little video just kind of talking about the truth about NAMM for me and about my experience in 2025 at NAMM. This, I think, was my 5th NAMM out in Southern California, and it's been interesting to kind of examine how each of the shows have gone and felt differently from one year to the next. I had one trip out to NAMM before COVID, and that was by far one of the most active and loudest and most kind of frenzied shows. And then after COVID, NAMM really kind of changed. The first year back after COVID, I remember it kind of feeling like a ghost town, far less exhibitors, a lot less people. And then in the last few years leading up to 2025, it's progressively kind of regained some of that energy. So it's been exciting to kind of go back to NAMM and feel the ways that it's changed. And 2025 really kind of felt like a return to form for the show in terms of the energy, the amount of people flowing through the conference halls, and the brands that showed up. The truth about NAMM for me, though, is it is almost entirely about the people at this point. In this era of social media, and again, post-COVID, the way that brands have released products and decided to kind of bring new models to market is almost entirely based around social media platforms. And so a lot of the gear that gets announced has already been kind of revealed or talked about on the internet or on social media, even in advance of the shows. I'm kind of in a unique situation too, being a demo artist and being someone who's creating content and doing reviews on new gear. And so a number of products or releases I kind of get a head start on or early info about. And so the whole kind of paradigm around, what was new at NAMM or what are the new releases, it's just a little bit dulled for me in terms of specifically guitar related gear. For me, far and above the excitement of new gear at the show are the people that I get to run into. It was really awesome for me to be able to connect with Graham and the crew at Fano. It's been a treat working with them on videos from the JM6 models that I've had in the studio here to the new GF6 that just came in, and just getting to connect with him and chat about his process. It's just really gratifying to be able to put faces to names, people that you've emailed with or had phone calls with working on projects in this industry, to be able to shake hands with and have a conversation with on the show floor is really rewarding and really fun. So that's one of my favorite parts about NAMM. It was cool to get to play their new 12 string. That is one of the standouts for me in terms of new releases, the Fano 12 string that they built for the show, and I'm excited for them in that release. NAMM is kind of a built-in yearly reunion for some good friends of mine that I hope you've heard about. Mark Johnston, John from Signal.Path, and myself just kind of pal around the whole time, and it's truly one of the highlights of my year. If you guys don't know about those two creators and their channels, please check the description below and go follow along with what they're doing. They're really good friends. They've become really solid friends and peers in this industry, and they're people whose perspective on gear and on music I really appreciate and look up to. And so always just a treat to be out in Southern California with them, whether it be grabbing coffee before the show or wandering the show floor. I got to meet the crew with Lawler. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary as a company, which is just pretty crazy and monumental for a pickup winder like that. Awesome to connect with them. Always a treat to get to see the Balaguer crew too. Joe and Jake and the crew over there have done such great work, and it's been an awesome collaborative kind of partnership with them over the last couple of years to help introduce the ambient select espadas that I carry at Little Box, and they're just some of the best dudes, so it's always fun to catch up and to chat on the floor as well. The other cool thing about this year's NAMM that maybe was a little bit different from years past, or perhaps I just kind of took it in a different way, was the number of experiences that were either within in the hall walls or outside of NAMM and sort of the peripherals of the show. It was really great to stop by the Bond Audio room and check out some really world-class jazz musicians playing some of the D'Angelico and Supro stuff. They put on a great show, and they just had kind of an awesome atmosphere in that room. And I think there's just overall been a little more intentionality around those experiences on the showroom floor or in the exhibit hall rooms to kind of maximize people's experience, to give new or different tastes of gear or music, and to just kind of again, maximize the time at NAMM. It's a really huge investment for brands to show up to NAMM, to exhibit, whether it be at a booth or one of those halls or rooms. And so I think that there's just feels like a little more intentionality around how and what is happening during the days of the show to make it the best experience for people like myself. And so I really enjoyed that and taking some of those experiences in on the showroom floor. Obviously, my buddy Mark Johnston played at the Ernie Ball Stage 2 one of the days, which is always a treat to see him on stage. And then offsite stuff. There's always stuff happening in and around Anaheim while the show's going on. There was a cool boutique guitar event that we didn't quite make it to that happened for a couple days out there that got great reviews. And then Chase Bliss puts on their Effector Market, which is always a fun time too, to catch up with friends and to play some of the new things from that camp of pedal builders. Old Blood is releasing a stereo version of their Black Fountain, which kind of stole the show from me at the Effector Market. It sounds amazing. I can't wait for that thing to come out. And then Mark and John and I have gotten in the habit of throwing just kind of a fun after party Friday night at a local brewery where we can put all the gear aside and just kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company. And so that was, again, the highlight of the trip for me. Yeah, so the truth about NAMM is, for me, really connecting with people, getting to see friends in this industry that I only get to see maybe once a year, making connections with folks that I've gotten to work with on a more personal level is always a treat to be able to do that out at NAMM. And the gear, it's a little bit secondary for me at this point. So that's from my perspective the truth about NAMM. It's a little taste of what you get when you go to the show. It's a little taste about some of the main attractions and the primary reasons for me going out there every year. And it's a ton of fun, but perhaps not specifically for the gear. And that's okay. You know, this industry is one that people all across it are bringing their passions and their interest and love for music and making good art to what they're building and doing. And so it just kind of rides on the energy of a ton of those people in the same kind of room and environment. And I think that's sort of palpable. So in that sense, the environment is really, really awesome to be around. The connections and the conversations that happen are kind of like the best or most enjoyable forms for me, because it's all of us kind of gear nerds or music lovers in the same place talking about the things that we love most. And so that is always really fun and enjoyable. If you get the chance, definitely go out, experience NAMM, go with friends, or be open to meeting new friends and connecting with new folks. And it's a ton of fun.